Welcome to Revelation Unraveled. I'm your host, William Tapley, also known as the third eagle of the apocalypse and the co-prophet of these end times. Well, I think I'm finally over my laryngitis, so I hope to be doing several more videos in the near future, especially on this new Year of Mercy, which Pope Francis initiated this past Tuesday on the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. And I want to revisit this ugly satanic logo because I think it tells us which direction this holy year is going under the leadership of perhaps the false prophet. And I don't really come out and say exactly that Pope Francis is the false prophet, although he is certainly leaning in that direction. And the reason I hesitate because he has yet to fulfill the specific prophecies about the false prophet in Scripture. So let's first of all take a look at how the Vatican interprets this satanic image.
One particular feature worthy of note is that while the Good Shepherd, in his great mercy, takes humanity upon himself, his eyes are merged with those of man. Christ sees with the eyes of Adam, and Adam with the eyes of Christ.
Now, the only problem with the Vatican's interpretation is that figure is not a male which Jesus is carrying. That is not an Adam, that is an Eve. Let's take a look at that fake beard on that transgendered figure. This is not a beard on this figure. This is a heart shape. It signifies a romance between Jesus and this feminine figure. It is not centered on this person's face. This person is a female dressed as a male. This is a transgendered figure. This whole symbol is a promotion of the transgender and homosexual agenda. This is the true goal of this so-called Year of Mercy. Now, the Baltimore archdiocese just this past week did a similar interpretation of this ugly logo, and these are the words of Father Timothy Clunk.
Father Timothy Clunk. I'm a priest of the archdiocese. I've been ordained for 35 years. The logo has been designed in such a way as to express the profound way in which the Good Shepherd touches the flesh of humanity.
Now, the flesh which Jesus is touching in this logo is female flesh, and that is why the artist hid this transgender figure with a fake beard. And this is also a demonic image. It is straight out of Satan. Let's count the number of whiskers on this logo. If we count the whiskers on these two figures, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the center, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the figure on the left. In other words, 6, 6, 6. That is not accidental. And another indication that this is a satanic image is that evil third eye. That is the eye of the Illuminati. There is even a single horn above the third eye. That indicates the little horn of the Antichrist. We've seen 666 in this image. We've seen a transgendered female figure carried by Jesus. But one of the most evil, degenerate aspects of this logo is the hidden phallic symbol. Take a close look at the noses on those figures, especially that very weird nose on the face of Jesus. What is the line on this supposed nose feature? That is to separate the two different forms. This represents the private parts of a male. The nose on this figure is ever so slightly different. That's because this is a female figure as opposed to the masculine face of Jesus. This artist knew exactly what he was doing. Now, in my previous videos, I've already pointed out, for example, that the body on this figure which Jesus is carrying is very heavy in the hips. That indicates a female. And if you look at those fingers, which the artist has very clearly emphasized, he has shown the hands of this female figure, and the index fingers are clearly longer than the ring finger. And that is almost always a sure sign of the female anatomy. All in all, the agenda of this so-called Holy Year, which Pope Francis is promoting, is very evil, and you cannot trust what's coming out of the Vatican because prophecy is being fulfilled. John said in Revelation 11:2 that the holy city would be trodden under by the Gentiles for 42 months. And we are seeing that very specifically in this so-called Holy Year of Mercy. And on the next program, I want to take a look at one of the slogans or mottos of this Holy Year, and that is that God always forgives. That is not accurate. That is not biblical. And if you would like more information, please visit my thirdeaglemedia.com website.